Greetings, one and all. This is Lloyd Brown with a legend of my living room. Oh yeah, legend of my living room. The one and only Mr. Michael Gordon, and we're at chapter 3 of this story of Michael Gordon's prominence, basically in the reggae music fraternity and industry, and him being a major cog in the wheel that we know as Lovers Rock, you know, one of the integral members of that movement. And in the last episode, we was basically talking about the music that more or less captured you, for want of a better word, the music that basically beguiled you growing up in Jamaica. And the interesting fact that you never had no gram, you never had the luxury of having no gram. So you would literally just listen to the sound systems there, man. Them times I can identify with that as well, because them tanais used to ring out, and you would hear, and it's not even the case where you just hear the songs, you'd hear them clear, right? So it's interesting to know that you took that and it retained in your memory as to the songs, and also, you know, with you hearing soul music for the first time as well, and that being a different genre within itself, you being just as interested in that. So we're gonna basically move from there to actually your journey from Jamaica to the UK. So when did that happen, and what was the circumstances?
Right, so circumstances.
Yeah,
that's a good word. Circumstances were little Michael Gordon. Well, I wasn't so little then, so I was about, what, I would say 10, 11. Yeah. Michael Gordon was running around, being naughty. You understand?
Diplomatically put.
For want of a better word.
Yeah.
And my Aunt Hazel, who was like my second mum, because my mum passed away in 1974.
Okay.
So when I revisited my aunt down in the Rockabessa, my dad's sister, I love her to the bone. So she's like my second mum. She just, come here boy, took me under her wing, and she would scold me, love me, just like a mother would.
Yeah.
And she said, you need to go back to England. Because if you don't go back to England, I'm not sure what would become of it.
Sure, yeah.
And it was due to her diligence and love that she told my dad to get his ass back up here.
See.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's my aunt.
Yeah.
She didn't have to, but that's the love she's always exhibited. So, yeah, so with that, Dad came down to Jamaica. He came down the year before. He came down in 73.
Okay.
So when he came down, I thought he was coming for me. Do you know what I'm saying? But there was a time when I thought that my dad wasn't alive. That's another story.
Okay.
All right, so can't really go into that. And then realized that my dad was alive. Wow, oh, that's deep. So Dad comes down in 73 rather, to look about my papers. But I thought I was going back with him. So when I realized that wasn't the case, then it was, you know, I was heartbroken. But on the agenda was me coming back to England.
So let me get this right. Okay, so your dad came to Jamaica. Right. You thought that he was basically taking you back.
In 73.
In 73.
Yeah.
So did he go? He went back to England.
Yeah.
He went back to England.
He came out to deal with my papers or whatever.
All right.
And gone back to England, and then I travelled up, and then came back for me.
So he came back to you a year after.
Yeah.
And then you went back to. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what was that plane ride like?
You know what? Up to this day, I can't get used to that thing. You know what I'm saying? Because when I went to Jamaica as a youth, I went on a ship.
Oh.
I didn't go on a plane.
How long?
That was fascinating.
Yeah.
Because we went all around the Caribbean because his mum took some kind of cruise thing.
Sin.
I was a little boy.
Yeah.
Right? And that was fascinating.
Yeah.
I've got some memories of it, but I remember it was fascinating because we were on the sea and we're stopping off at certain ports.
Right.
And coming back on, like, you're on a cruise. So she didn't take a direct, it was like a cruise thing I went down. But coming back in 74 was the first time on an airplane.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Sick.
And that was, like, I'm walking out and I'm seeing this from what I can remember.
Yeah.
And it was like, can you imagine it? Because when I was a youth. When I saw the ship, but coming back, I was bigger now. So I'm like, because I've never been to an airport or nothing, even though I was like 14.
And his old map covered the window, you know.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, you know, like, there's a Heptone song, isn't it?
Yeah.
Country boy.
Country boy.
Are you not notorious course? That reminds me of that. You know what I mean?
So that was the soundtrack. That was literally the soundtrack to your life, right?
It's like, come my car. Yes, Dad. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah.
Wow.
So yeah. So it was fascinating.
Right. And I literally just asked that question on the basis, well, you took playing golf over there.
No, never take playing golf.
So it was on the basis of basically, you know, you and your dad.
Yeah.
And how the what's the word? How the scenario of just you and your dad
Right.
being there, you know, what would you talk about? You know, was there trepidation on both parties or what have you? What was the relationship like?
No, because I was too young to be doing any of that.
Oh, okay.
Because I kind of understood from earlier on that me going back to Jamaica with my mum had nothing to do with my dad.
Oh, okay.
That was what my mum was doing.
Okay.
My mum wanted to do it because they separated. My mum wanted to do her thing.
Right.
So, once I realised that, that wasn't the case, then it was cool. So there weren't no questions from my dad.
Okay.
There was only like discovery as to, what do we do now, Dad? Or or what is England like? Or what is the house like? And
so he's like, well,
you know what I'm saying?
He's like, well, I saw it.
Yeah,
more or less.
So
okay,
you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, if my dad didn't send back for me, I'm not sure what would have transpired.
Okay.
So I have to give him that still.
Okay, so you landed in Grey.
Well, the funny thing, it was supposed to be summer, Lloyd.
Right.
Because I remember when I came, it was if my memory serves me correctly, I came in August.
Okay.
I came in August.
Right.
And it was like a day like this.
See.
I'm looking at it through your place now. It was quite sunny.
Yeah.
I was freezing bloody cold.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And I didn't get that.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't understand that. I'm asking my dad, how come it's sunshine, Dad? How come I feel so cold?
See.
And even in the house, they had heating on.
Central heating, yeah.
But it wasn't central heating. It was gas fire.
Gas fire,
but building at the wall.
Yeah.
That was on.
See.
Ooh. You know what I mean? This is a culture shock here. You know what I'm saying? England, some of this?
Yeah.
Right. And then it went down, pretty much downhill from there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because obviously it got colder. So September came because I came in the middle of August.
Right.
So it was the end of summer really.
Right.
Yeah. And then September came and it got colder, and then October came, it was like raw. Whoa.
So how was you then when?
How old was I?
Yeah.
I was 14.
You was 14.
I came out when I was 14. So,
Okay.
like I said, I spent the best part of 10 years in Jamaica.
Okay. So obviously
I went out when I was 4 and a half.
Yeah.
Came back when I was 14.
Okay, so obviously from the culture of you basically water 12 miles round trip for water and going to school, coming back from school, doing all of that, from that culture
Right.
to you coming over here now and going to secondary school. Right? So what was the transition like for you?
Horrible.
Okay. Next question.
Horrible. Because you have to understand, even though we did all that when I was in Jamaica growing up,
Yeah.
carry the water in the morning, string out to a goat,
Yeah.
still had to walk to school. Blah, blah. You came home,
Yeah.
whatever homework you had to do, you did that,
Right.
but you were free. once you do what you have to do, your chores. Because sometimes you have to come back and carry water again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I forgot about that bit.
Right.
But once you're cool with that, you're on the street.
Yeah.
Your yard is there.
Yeah.
You're up there. You're playing marbles with your bridge and them. You tell a nonsense story. Whatever. You're just chilling.
That's more or less the trade-off for you,
You know what I'm saying?
doing
Yeah.
you doing your chores and stuff.
Yeah, but
Right.
there was no fear of anything.
Sure.
Do you know what I'm saying? Because basically, one was innocent. Yeah, you were free. There was nobody coming to catch you or beat you up or molest you. You're out there till 10, 11 o'clock until you decide to come in. Or your mum might call, Michael, come in now. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I came here, I was locked up in a flat.
Right.
I was living in Southfields. And there's no such thing about going outside. Well, for a start, I'm too cold anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. But even with that, it's like you learn about a different way of life. My dad was talking about teddy boys and his version of racism because he couldn't quite explain it.
Yeah.
But I understand it now. And you hear about all manner of rubbish. Do you know what I'm saying? The term, I'll give you an example in terms of the innocence growing up in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Without wanting to shock, it's just reality. You heard the term like Batman in Jamaica. You never took it on in the same way as when I came back to England.
See.
Because when I came back to England, I was told exactly what it meant.
What it meant.
I didn't know what it meant in Jamaica.
Right.
It's just a term, a word. Yeah? Okay, it was a derogatory term because when you say that to Batty boy, but you didn't realize what you were saying.
Sure. So it was like it was a learned behaviour.
Yeah. Right. But when I came to England, it took on a whole different meaning as to what it actually meant. And it's like, wow. Okay. So coming back to England, I grew up fast. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was a serious culture shock. Because I was coming back to England with joy, yeah? Because this is the place I was born.
Right.
But as soon as I landed, it was like, I don't want to be here, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here. This ain't like Jamaica. Nothing like Jamaica. This is not what I thought it was gonna be. And I struggled with it. I struggled at school. You know, I was reasonably bright at school. I was very bright at school in Jamaica, actually. I was ridiculously good at English, reasonably good at maths, history, stuff like that. But here, because I hated it so much, I couldn't concentrate. I couldn't deal with the lifestyle. And because of that, I rebelled. Dad and I couldn't get on. And I left home at a very young age.
And that's interesting because you know, because with the youth of my generation, let's say,
Right.
growing up in the UK, you know, it can be deemed that that the act of rebelling
Right.
was between parents and children, you know, to a certain degree, because the discipline and the principle of discipline was instilled
Right.
in Caribbean people's lives still. But for you, it was a case where you just didn't feel that you was home
No.
per se.
No. That was it. And my dad was trying to protect me, obviously, as a parent. But I couldn't see that. You know, all I could see was like I'm being suffocated. You know, I mean, this flat or this house, and you know, my dad had remarried by then, so you know, my stepmom was cool. You know, she looked after me in her own way. But at the end of the day, you know, it wasn't cool because
You didn't have the sweet freedom, which we're going to talk about way later in the series. But everything's kind of making sense. So,
and because I loved my dad so much, so it wasn't a case of I'm going to rebel and I'm going to like be disrespectful to my dad and chat to him certain way. No, it wasn't about that. Because again, we have that ground, we have that discipline.
Yeah,
So we don't flex like that.
yeah.
You know, I'm not saying it was the same for everybody, but for most people, a lot of people,
It was the common thread.
Yeah,
It was the common thread that ran.
You had that reverence for your parents as well as your elder people. You know, because people in the district would raise you as well. So if you go out with anything outside, and
we'll get back. Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So because of that, I left home way before my time, because you know, like you, especially guys, we're mature enough to deal with that.
Yeah.
You know, girls are more mature to deal with that because it's just instinctive for females. I think. I think females, you know, they grow up a lot quicker and faster than boys. Personally, you know, because women are the backbone, innit? You know what I'm saying? But for me, it was like, I wasn't.
Latest McGahn.
Yeah, and I couldn't be fighting with my dad.
But we got to basically end it here, okay? So we're gonna go into your journey, your solo journey through life and with music as your soundtrack on the next episode.
Absolutely.
So until we link you on the next episode, people stay blessed. We're gone.
Peace.